I always say there are no levels to abuse. Like it's not like कि this much is tolerable abuse, इतना झेल सकते हो, इसके बाद जाए तो do something about it. Why? Why do you have to tolerate any amount of abusive behavior? And I understand that it's never easy to walk out of relationships, but for everybody's peace of mind, it's always better to take a faster or an earlier decision. You don't deserve to be treated badly. Nobody does. It's good if it is uncomfortable. That is what builds intimacy.
Yes.
If
beautiful.
If you're having superficial, easy conversations, you're not intimate. You're friends. If someone kisses you today and slaps you today, tomorrow, it doesn't make the slap okay.
That's true. That's very true.
And this is the kind of logic and reasoning we give ourselves when we are stuck in a toxic relationship.
Wow. Beautiful.
That ये होता है, पर वो भी तो होता है. ठीक है, वो होता है, but then ये नहीं होना चाहिए. So a very common statement abusers will make if you're in an abusive relationship, your abuser will often tell you, I got angry because you provoked me.
Wow.
Nobody does that. Honestly, everybody is in charge of their own emotions. If they are putting the responsibility of their emotions on you, they are emotionally controlling you. It happens in marriages a lot. In fact, because once you're married, then obviously the dynamics are also different. Even the person knows that it's not as easy for you to walk away now as it would have been in a dating relationship. So obviously, and in a marriage, it's easier to exert financial control. In a marriage, it is easier to use children as pawns, and it happens so often.
Yeah, it happens with your clients. They use
all the time. I'm seeing another one whose husband has just used the children as pawns. Like one of their children is a sensitive kid, and once the husband figured out that so after a while, like he would make her apologize for everything, and she would keep doing that. And after a while, she started saying that it's getting too much. So she would take longer to apologize. So he started bullying the kid. And the moment he would bully the kid, she would say, "Oh, don't say anything to him. I'm sorry. I'll do whatever you want me to do."
Gosh, wow. So they find a way to you through someone, if not you directly.
Yes, they will target someone who you love. Feeling like you have lost your identity in the relationship, that's one sign. If you feel like you've changed as a person, I used to be this happy-go-lucky, full of energy person, because abusers sap energy from you. That's why they're attached to you. If you are most likely a person who's full of life. That's what she or he has heard all their life, that all your friends say, "Oh, you're the life of the party, you're the most wonderful person we know." So these people will attach to you and like parasites, and they would seep that joy out of you. So if you feel like you've completely changed, that's one indication. If you feel like you can't do or you don't have pleasure anymore in the things that you used to enjoy, that's one sign. If you cry for no reason all day and you feel like there's this void inside of you, and it looks like he really loves you, but it doesn't somehow, just trust your gut. Like if it doesn't feel like it, if you find yourself swinging between absolute self-doubt and this fear of him, even if he may have never laid a hand on you, and yet if you still live in fear because you're constantly watching his moods or her moods, and you're constantly tiptoeing around this person and thinking that, oh, I should not say something because things will escalate. And like I said, most common thing, if they keep blaming you, if they keep telling you that I am like this because you made me, this is like the biggest indicator. You have to step back. I don't say leave immediately, but step back, get some evidence from other people, talk to some other people, go to a therapist, get some perspective, and then come back to it. Because it could also be a toxic communication pattern between two people. That can also happen. Not everyone is an abuser if the relationship is very toxic. If it is toxic behavior, it still has a chance, because toxic behavior can be a communication error also. It can be a learned pattern also. I mean, you may have learned how to communicate like this with your partner because of your parental models or your family models and things like that. Okay, still has a chance, because in simply toxic behavior, people, if you bring attention to it, they pay attention sometimes.
So they change. And they change their behavior. So Prachi, you said that the toxic behavior can still change What was the other thing? So what can't be
So
stopped?
abuse, when it is clearly control. So in a toxic behavior, somebody is doing something, they are irking some part of you, but like in the example that I gave, the guy was not exactly trying to control her. He just wasn't giving her space to talk because he doesn't know how to do it. Right? But if
Yeah, so there is no manipulation there. Seriously.
There is no manipulation, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if there is manipulation, if there is destruction of self-esteem, like here also, this woman wasn't feeling heard, but he wasn't telling her things like, oh, you're ridiculous, you think you're very smart, you don't know anything. He wasn't doing all those things. But if this is happening, I'm sorry, there are like I think like 0.0001 chances of change. Leave.
So one thing you say is, if the person is attacking your sense of self, leave. Tell us more.
Yes.
So when can't it be stopped? Give us more, things like
So
this.
if he or she is attacking your sense of self, if he or she is not letting you be who you are, not letting you see, I'm not talking about self-destructive behaviors. Like, let's say if you're addicted to alcohol, obviously your partner is not going to allow you to be addicted to alcohol, and they will intervene. That's a different thing. But if you like having a girls' night once in a while and he has a problem with that, that's
on your career path, no? Like you just said about this doctor who changed this, field that you wanted to specialize in, because so if they're not okay, sorry,
and basic respect. One of the signs that happens is that the person, whoever is the abuser, male, female, they will assume that you don't have autonomy of thought. You can't think for yourself. I have to think for you. I know what's best for you. Build your support network. Reach out to old friends. Make new friends if you want. But you must have a support network. Not to kind of, maybe all friends are not good enough for you to go and to vent to. Sometimes you will just need party friends. Sometimes you will just need someone to go and have a drink with, or just to have a meal with. Because these little things are going to add to your positive experiences and keep you afloat while you're fighting this battle. And be ready for threats, manipulation of all kinds. When you're about to leave, he or she is going to use all kinds of personal attacks, all kinds of threats and statements, and you're running away. Emotional blackmail, right? So be ready for that.
Yeah. So I was thinking, Prachi, it makes sense to kind of keep a journal. Like you say that abusers try and remind you of all the beautiful 4, 5 or whatever small moments that you've had, which are probably not that big, and they keep coming back to it. I think this is also something that I've read a lot, that you forget about what you've gone through, because you want to be in that safety zone. You don't want to disturb the apple cart. So practically, if we were to, if people who are undergoing emotional abuse or abuse, I think they should have some kind of a, like a document, a record of, this is what happened, and, and think about your red flags. Like,
absolutely. You can go back and read it, because when you're not in that emotionally charged stage and you go back and read it, it is still going to appeal to your rational mind.
Yeah. So what other ways, so when you are in the relationship, how else can you deal with it?
So you basically have to, what I'm trying to say is, you have to work at rebuilding your self-esteem. And you may have to do it like shamelessly for a while. Like, just stop believing anything that this person says for a while. Okay? Just tell yourself that, okay, I'm just going to listen to it here and it's going to go out of my ear. Nothing will stick. You have to rebuild your self-esteem, because only when you start to do that, you will start to see things rationally. Second, work on boundaries. Tell them this is not okay. Anything that they're doing that that is hurting you, this is not okay. And the thing about boundaries is, just like punishment, they have to be persistent. Every time that event occurs, every time that boundary has to be enforced. They also have to be proximity to the event. Like, it can't happen that he says something today that you mind, and tomorrow you come and remind. Immediately you have to do it, okay? And it has to be consistent. The same enforcement has to happen every single time. You can't do like this much once and then pull back the next time, because then this person will know that she or he can be pushed. Get help for this person, because we anyway can never be therapists for our partners. A lot of people try to do that, never works. Okay, get help, go with them, be with them, take them to the therapist if required, if the therapist requests, be a part of the session, but get an objective opinion. Because you have no idea where they're coming from, why the issues are cropping up. There could be something much, much deeper which you will not be able to elicit and fix. It's not your job to fix your partner. Your job always is to support your partner while they fix themselves.
If you had to leave our viewers and readers with a line that, let's say that they are victims of emotional abuse, or maybe they are the abusers, we don't know. So what is that one thought that you'd like to leave both of them with? So a victim and abuser.
Okay. For an abuser, obviously, if you're an abuser, I don't think you're sitting here thinking that, oh, I am an abuser, because obviously that's not how it works. But yes, if you think that you may be engaging in some toxic behaviors with your partner, go home today and sit down with them and ask them, are there any ways that I've hurt you? And really listen to the answer.
Wow.
If you really want to make this better, you will get your answers. They are the best person to tell you. And have the humility to understand and listen at least. So just ask them, have I hurt you in any way? And then, everything will flow from there.
Prachi, all of us can do it, right? All of us can do
it. Yes,
and
yes.
we should. Maybe at least once a week we should do this, or once in 15 days.
Totally. If you do it, you're going to have a tremendous relationship. If you can just do this every week, once a week, and say that, have I done something this week to hurt you?
Yeah. Okay. And for the victim?
For a victim, I always say this, please trust your gut. And when I say gut, it's not like, hawa mein some concept. Your instinct is a part of your subconscious brain. It tells you things. Your body tells you things. You just have to listen and really listen and believe it. You will believe 15 other people, but we will not believe our own instincts. We always suppress them. You may not be able to do anything about it right away, but at least listen to it. Because if you listen to it, a brain is a great thing. Whatever problem you feed it, it is going to give you solutions for that. It is going to give you possible solutions for that.
Yeah.
So if you're giving your brain the problem that how do I fix this, or what is wrong with me, it is going to give you 15 things that may be wrong with you. Okay, but if you give it a problem, what is wrong with this relationship, then it is going to give you possible options for that.
Lovely.
So be careful of the problem that you're presenting to your brain. Change that, and then you will be able to get a wider perspective, and maybe a neutral one also probably.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Prachi. So for all our viewers here, and you're going to watch the video later, please remember that therapy is not about now fixing, it's about growth. So please go to www.bonobology.com. We have a menu called, in fact, right on the homepage, you'll see Seek Online Confidential Relationship Therapy. So you can do it from the comfort of your home on WhatsApp, Skype, whatever. Go, pick the issue, pick your expert. And of course, if I have issues, I'm going to come to you, of course.